Nurse Emily Carter, 32, had been working the night shift at St. Mary's Medical Center in Ohio for almost 8 years. She was the kind of nurse patients loved, gentle, attentive, always speaking softly in that way that made you feel safe. But today, she couldn't hold herself together any longer. The moment she stepped into the empty break room, she closed the door behind her, sank into the cold metal chair, and finally let the tears spill over. She buried her face in her hands, her blue scrub soaked from a long shift filled with more loss than hope. The coffee machine hummed in the background, the only sound in the room. Her father's words echoed in her mind, words from the last voicemail he ever left her, "I'm proud of you, Em, don't ever forget that." He had passed away the night before, but she didn't get the chance to say goodbye. And she still had 6 hours left in her shift. She tried to breathe, tried to fight back the trembling in her chest, but her grief was a weight she couldn't carry anymore. That's when the door opened. Dr. Michael Grant, 38, one of the ER doctors known for his calm, serious nature, stepped in. He froze when he saw her. Emily quickly wiped her face, embarrassed, trying to pretend she was fine. But her red eyes and shaking hands showed the truth. "Emily?" he asked gently. "Hey, what happened?" She didn't want to break, but the moment she saw someone who genuinely cared, the words slipped out between sobs. "My dad, he passed away. Last night. And I couldn't even take the call. I was here. I was working." Michael sat across from her, his expression softening. He wasn't just a doctor in that moment. He was simply a human being seeing another human breaking. "I'm so sorry," he said quietly. "Why didn't you take the day off?" She shook her head. "We were short-staffed. The ER was full. I didn't want to leave the team, or the patients." That was who Emily was, she always stayed, even when broken. For a long moment, the break room was silent. Then Michael did something simple, but powerful. He slid a chair next to hers, not touching, not overwhelming, just close enough so she didn't feel alone. "You've been carrying this alone, haven't you?" he asked softly. Emily nodded. "You don't have to." His words were calm, steady, like someone holding a flashlight in a dark room. He told her something he had never shared with anyone at work: "I lost my mom during my residency. And I kept working too. Thought I could bury myself in the job. But grief doesn't work like that. It follows you until you face it, and until you let someone stand beside you." Emily looked at him, shocked. Dr. Grant, the strong, confident doctor everyone admired, had been through the same pain. He wasn't lecturing. He wasn't giving medical advice. He was giving empathy. She whispered, "I don't know how to keep going today." "You will," he said, placing a warm cup of coffee in her hands. "But not alone. Take a break. I'll cover your rounds." Emily's eyes widened. "But you're already overloaded." "I can handle it. Let me help." No one had said that to her in a long time. She cried again, but this time, it wasn't the heavy, aching kind. It was the kind that came with relief. An hour later, Emily returned to the ER. Her eyes were still red, but she was calmer. And when she stepped into room 12, she found an elderly woman struggling to breathe, terrified and alone. The woman grabbed her hand. "I'm scared." Emily took a shaky breath and squeezed her hand gently. "I know. I'm right here with you." And for the first time that day, she remembered why she chose this job. She couldn't save her father. But she could be there for others. She could give them comfort, dignity, and the kindness he always taught her to give. Throughout the shift, Michael checked on her subtly, never hovering, never making her feel weak. Just being present. When the shift finally ended at sunrise, Emily stepped outside. The sky was a soft orange, the cold morning air brushing against her cheeks. Michael walked out beside her, hands in his pockets. "You did amazing today," he said. She looked up at him, tired but grateful. "Thank you, for everything." "You don't owe me anything," he replied. "This is what we do. We show up for each other." Emily stared at the horizon, feeling the first real moment of peace since her father's death. "You know," she said slowly, "my dad used to say, the world won't always be kind. But we can choose to be." Michael smiled. He raised an incredible daughter. She wiped a tear from her cheek, but this one felt different, lighter. Before they parted ways, Michael said, "Take a few days off. Go be with your family. We'll manage here." She nodded. I think he'd want that." And as she walked to her car, she felt something shift inside her, not the end of grief, but the beginning of healing. All because someone walked in at the right moment, and stayed. If you made it this far, remember. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who break in silence. And the kindest people are those who sit quietly beside them until they can stand again.